they were, the National Football League, the Rams, and everybody that was involved in making this night a reality. And the reality for Matthew Stafford and the Rams is they are moving on. Kyron Williams and this Ram offense, the beneficiary of a brilliant performance as well from that young, hungry defense that got to Sam Darnold 9 times. And indeed, they will head east to take on the Eagles in the Link this weekend in what is a loaded, and it always is, divisional round. How are you? I'm Scott Van Pelt. The Rams get the victory tonight over Minnesota, and they do so with a complete and emphatic victory. They're leading 10-3. Sam Darnold under duress, sacked, balls out. Jared Verse has got it in his hands. He's got a convoy, he's got speed, and he's got 6. This Rams team came out with a purpose. Scored first and got that scoop and score. And then here the Rams felt a little bit, the Vikings, I should say, felt a little bit desperate, a little frantic. They went for it right before the end of the first half on a 4th down, and Kobe Turner gets home, and the Rams cash it in and really make it hurt as they get 6 more, go into the locker room ahead 24-3. The Vikings got a score in the second half, but needed far more. And this Rams team is moving on with a 27-9 victory. We are joined now by Joe and Troy, who called this game. And Joe, you talked to this team throughout. You talked to the commissioner before the game. There were so many important voices that had to be leaders within this Ram organization to get them focused on what was on the table tonight. Who led this Rams group into this game tonight, in your estimation?
The 2 people come to my mind, and that's the guy who was hired to be a head coach at the age of 30 and is now just about to turn 39, Sean McVay, and the job that he does just focusing this team, and Matthew Stafford. I mean, this is a young team, but they do have some veterans sprinkled in, and Stafford is about to turn 37. So these 2 vets, I think, set the tone for this team. And, when you talk to these guys, they didn't complain one bit. They know what's going on around them at home. They're dealing with that. They were in some ways relieved, I felt, to get here and to get back to work and to get back to where they feel most comfortable, which is on a football field. Sure. And they bonded and went out and just took it to the Vikings.
List of superlatives tonight, Troy, for this Rams team is lengthy. What most impressed you?
I think just the overall performance by everybody, quite honestly. Like Joe said, to pick up and come here and had a lot of excuses and reasons why maybe they wouldn't come out and play the way that they did. They think they're going to have a home game in front of 90% of L.A. Rams fans. Instead, the estimate was there were more Vikings fans here tonight. So that's overcoming a lot. But when you look at what happened on the field, I would say that defensive front. I mean, it's a young group. It's a really talented group. They're only going to continue to get better. But I thought Matthew Stafford started the game out, did a lot of really good things. But that defensive front for the entire game, they were excellent. I thought Chris Shula was excellent as the defensive coordinator as well. But that's something they can really build on going into next week.
I believe the final accounting, Joe, if I heard correctly, was a 9th sack in the end for this Rams team. And yeah. Sam Darnold, look, man, this game, it grades with a sharp pencil, and it ends with a thud for Minnesota and Darnold, who played so well all year, 14 victories. They come up short in Detroit, which means they had to go on the road, and now this performance. Troy, as this offseason looms for him and this team, how do you think these last couple of performances will impact what ultimately happens for Sam Darnold?
Big impact. Yeah, these last 2 weeks will have a big impact on his future, not only what that may look like for the Minnesota Vikings, but a big impact on what that may look like for him going to another team. Is there going to be the big payout that looked inevitable a few weeks ago? May not be quite as big as what Sam or others thought. These are the games that matter. He knows that. Every quarterback that plays in this league knows that. And when you get into these games, that's what you're judged on. And it's not all on him. There were a lot of people that contributed to them not playing better last week and then again this week. But ultimately, the quarterback, especially more so in today's game than ever before, the quarterback is expected to overcome those things. And so it's a tough way to finish. I said it during the ball game. It doesn't really matter if you win 14 games. Not that you got to go win the Super Bowl, because only one team gets to do that. But when you don't even win a playoff game, you're lumped in with all the teams really that didn't even make the postseason. So this is a tough one. And for Kevin O'Connell with a good team again this year, had one 2 years ago, to come away without a playoff victory is a hard pill to swallow.
I know you guys have to get out of here, and Matthew Stafford standing by. Joe, I'll just give you a final word here. Just on this scene, I didn't know what to expect. I thought this was remarkable. I thought the turnout from Rams fans and Vikings fans alike, but this was an incredible atmosphere in Arizona. I was wondering your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun game because it was loud throughout. I mean, that's the way I judge them when you have to get up over the crowd, and it was loud throughout. It was a sellout. The Rams fans traveled, the Vikings fans traveled, and they made a great atmosphere. This is a 5-day process, and to come out of here with what they come out of here with, the overall picture, it was remarkably well done.
All right, gentlemen, travel well. We'll see you in Arrowhead Part 3. I look forward to it on Saturday.
See you, Scott.
See you, Scott.
See you, gentlemen. Joe and Troy on the call tonight as the Rams get the victory. The old graybeard. How you doing, buddy? How are you? Good. Matthew Stafford's joining us. We'll visit with him as we continue here live.
And whereas football is an escape for so many of us, it's an opportunity to do one thing we truly love. There are things in life that you love more than football. These humans love their families more. They love their friends more. And they have the empathy and compassion for the people who live in the neighborhoods that they live in who have possibly lost it all. And you do your best to compartmentalize it and be focused on football when you're within your building, when you're on the practice field. But you still feel all the things that come along with devastation and tragedy like they're experiencing in Los Angeles. I'd also think you draw from the triumph of the heroes who are risking their lives to save people who they may never even meet and have never even known, but they understand that part of humankind is loving the other people who walk this earth with you. So to all the people in Los Angeles who have lost loved ones or lost their belongings, you know, my heart and my prayers go out to them, and to all the heroes who are risking their lives to save other people's belongings and their things, we say thank you. And for the Los Angeles Rams, I know they'll try to put those things aside and put on tonight for 3 hours to win a game that will mean a ton to the city that's suffering so much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody here is going to say it much better than that. I feel like everybody handles and processes grief differently. I always loved and considered it a blessing to be able to go out on the football field whenever there were distractions happening outside. Now, this is unique in the sense that this is an entire city. This is family, friends, neighbors. There's so many things happening back in LA right now that is affecting all of these players and players on both teams. And, you know, it's hopefully going to be a galvanizing thing for the Rams. I think it certainly can be. And, you know, I think that for 3 hours they get to go out there and enjoy a game that they've played their whole lives and enjoy doing that together. And, you know, I think it's one of the great kind of things about sport. You get to go out there and just play the sport. And, you know, we can leave all that stuff aside for a second, even though we will be thinking about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Can you find that gear swag? Can you find that uber competitive and necessary gear in the midst of all that could be in your mind?
Scott, I was watching you the other night, and I think you said something poignant about allowing people to help you. And I think that's the most important thing.
My family lost its house in a fire. It was very different. We could lean on our neighbors because our neighbors didn't lose theirs as well. But the gist of what I was saying is that that you've got to allow yourself a bit of grace in this moment, because this is a marathon, and there are people, maybe they're not your neighbors physically, but your neighbors, this country.
Absolutely.
And I think we're seeing that, and we'll have the call to action for the Red Cross, but you got to call on folks to help you, because there's no getting through this.
And I think that's where the strength lies, man. You know, as much as we go through in this country and the things we deal with, I still have a firm belief that humanity is undefeated. And it's important for us to not segment all of the things that go on to thinking that good people are no longer around.
That's not true.
And I think that's what you see in these moments of adversity. You understand that there's a lot of people that share in the same ideals. There's a lot of people that share in the fact that I just want you to be okay. And I think that's what we're going to see unfold over the next months, years in this recovery. But I think specifically to this game, and we bring it up all the time when we're talking about the locker room. The locker room is a place of solace. It's a place to get grief out. It's a place to talk about things that are very uncomfortable. And usually, culturally, when you have teams that have this type of success, those are the type of things that have been going on for a while. We saw guys lose children this year during the football season. We know that people go through life-changing, life-altering things. And I think just seminally for what you think about this game and football and team, it's what you said the other night as allowing your brothers to help you deal with what's going on, but also knowing that other people are suffering around you and you be a catalyst for humanity as well and try to give what you can give. I think in this 3.5 hours, with everything that's transpired in LA and that's still going on, humanity will find some solace in watching these guys and finding and drawing inspiration and strength by their display of being able to play a game in the midst of what's going on, even in some of their personal life.
And I think the one thing we'll see tonight, Scott, I know you have to go, will be gratitude.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? To be grateful, like Jason said, for having an opportunity to do something we did as children for free and get a chance to go do that, not only for yourselves, but for all the fans who support you and have supported you throughout the years.
Now you think of the notion of put.
Chào tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Video ngày hôm nay của mình sẽ là những video tô mò. Đây, những video tô mò của những sản phẩm con vật đây các bạn ạ. Đây là con chim cánh cụt này, mình tô rất chi là nhiều con vật. Ở đây con cá sấu này, nhiều lắm. Các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tô những sản phẩm nha. Đây. Và để tô được sản phẩm của mình không thể nào thiếu được hộp săn mò. Đây là hộp săn mò của mình, thường rồng này. Nó phụ trợ cho mình tô mò sản phẩm. Và bây giờ các bạn cùng theo dõi mình tô mò nha.
Mình làm chi tiếp tục tô mò nha các bạn.
Mọi người, đây là vòng của mình được hoàn thành, video của mình đến đây là kết thúc nhá. Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng nhé. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là sao biển. Các bạn, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cá heo. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhé. Đây là màu tím nha. Màu tím của mình đây, đây là màu tím của mình đây nha. Tiếp đến là màu đỏ.